Okay, so I'm here with Craig Miles, who is a former Gloucestershire player and former Downend player. He came to Downend as a professional. Every club gets allocated a county player during the cricket season. You now play for Warwickshire, Craig. Has there been a change of mood since your move?
I think, yeah, well, personally, obviously, it's something that I wanted to explore and, challenge myself in Division 1 of county cricket, especially. It was a difficult decision because ultimately Gloucestershire was a really great club for me growing up through the ranks of the academy, and obviously giving me my first class debut and number of first class games, one day games, 2020 games that I played for them. It's a time that I reflect on very fondly. So it was difficult to do and difficult to leave a group of players that weren't only just a great group of mates, but also they were on the edge of something. Having we won the 2015 One Day Cup, and I felt like that team was on the edge of as we've seen, promotion to Division 1 or even some T20 success. So it was difficult, but obviously it was a personal thing, and it was for a career choice more than anything to try and challenge myself a little bit higher when at that point, I didn't know what was to come for Gloucestershire.
Yeah, that's very true, and obviously, as you said, Gloucestershire and promotion last season into Division 1, so hopefully, all being well, you might come up against them this season, if obviously things improve in this world. However, I know it's quite self-explanatory, but is there a big difference between Division 1 cricket and Division 2 cricket?
I think it's going to be very hard for me to probably hit the nail on the head, having only played sort of 3 or 4 games for Warwickshire last year in Division 1. I think there's maybe one of the differences for me is the pitches seem to be set up for 4 days of cricket as opposed to potentially occasionally in Division 2 you might come up on a fresh wicket where the game's wanted to move it, the home team or whoever it is may have wanted to prepare a pitch that wants to move quickly or suit their bowlers a bit more, or so that would probably be the one thing. And then potentially maybe the odd team here and there is the batting lineups are a touch longer, or that the bowling lineups are 4 real out and out quick bowlers, or 3 quicks and a top class spinner. So it's very hard for me to probably really hit the nail on the head, as I've said, but having experienced a little bit of both, I would say the wickets or the pitches side of things stands out mainly for me at this moment.
So obviously you've just said there's a kind of a gap in the pitches. That's quite interesting to know that it's sometimes the teams tactically trying to win the game before it's even started.
Yeah, well, it's sport, isn't it? You probably don't really hear about it as much in say football or anything, but
no.
Football, there are certain teams will water their pitches or not water their pitches, or I've seen stuff where teams have left the grass longer against a team with Cristiano Ronaldo in because he wants the ball to move at pace because he's a very quick player. So that's sport, and that's where teams try to get the edge on the opposition. But I think personally, having experienced a couple of games at Edgbaston, the pitches are generally quite flat pitches where they begin to turn towards the back end, obviously bringing in the likes of Jeet and Patel. So that's where I'm coming from in terms of the pitches, but it's certainly something that I believe any groundsman will want to will definitely be speaking with his captain and the team's management in order to set them up the best way they can for a home game, especially.
So we've talked about obviously your time so far at Warwickshire and how it's changed since you moved from Gloucestershire, who was your boyhood club. I can remember I'd done an interview with you last year for my college course, and was it right? Am I right in thinking that you played for Swindon Academy football?
Yeah. So I played some academy football up until about under 13. where I then sort of made the probably slightly rash choice of singling out my cricket as the preferred option and solely focused on that, whereas probably looking back now, I'd have liked to play a bit more football. I think any kid who I would speak to now, I would say don't pigeonhole yourself in one sport. Play as many as you can. I think there's so many transferable skills, as we've seen just in cricket. You know, the likes of guys that have probably played hockey and things like that at school with the switch hitting and the power in the wrists. You know, I certainly believe there's different, you know, so many different transferable skills that can be transferred across football into cricket, into tennis, into rugby, whatever it is. I feel that's something that I probably would look back and want to change about my time, probably growing up as a young sportsman.
So was it genuinely a choice between football or cricket at that time?
Well, I think I made it out to be. You know, I don't think it wasn't like I was released from Swindon. It was something that, you know, I believe, from what I can remember, they were still offering me a sort of a contract and an academy contract, and then obviously I was able to be selected for the Gloucestershire Academy, which the reason being is because football games were on a Sunday and the winter academy stuff was on a Sunday as well, so I was unable to do both. So yeah, I feel like it was quite a mature choice for somebody who's only sort of 12 or 13. Obviously, in conferring with mum and dad and things like that and different things, but I think I just felt that I enjoyed my cricket a little bit more. It was played in the summer as well, and I probably felt I was a touch better at it.
So you made the choice of cricket in the end, and you're stuck with it now. Fortunately or unfortunately, I don't know how you sit on the fence for that one, but were you, just going on to your time at Downend now, for the listeners, were you allocated to Downend, or had you been recommended to go there by anyone?
So yeah, I think initially it was more of the allocation. I think Gloucestershire were very good in actually putting their pros out on a Saturday, you know, before the season started, and said, here's our group of professional players. I think there was some sort of draft system in place where teams would whatever the order was, would be able to pick from the guys. So I think I can't really remember my first year at Downend. I want to say it was probably before I was actually a full-time pro. I want to say 2012 maybe.
Okay.
So I think I would have been on sort of like a summer contract, so I would have been on the pro staff in a way, but I was allocated to Downend, so that was probably my first year, and I want to say I maybe had 2 years. I might be wrong. It's always I always forget, but then yeah, then a few years away with that allocation, which was frustrating really. I think the allocation was great because, you know, local clubs got these professionals, and they got to experience different professionals coming in and out each year. But from a professional's point of view, for me personally, I feel like you get to know, if you get to know one club, and if there's a possibility of staying with them, you know, you get to know people behind the scenes. People get to know you as a person a bit more, and it's just a great relationship builder between, you know, bridging that gap for young kids in club cricket who get to see a professional play for their home club side on a Saturday, but also, you know, you don't know who. There's so many great people behind, you know, recreational sports clubs, and it's a relationship builder and a great way to meet people as well.
Yeah, do you know what? You've hit the nail on the head there from my point of view, with the fact that I think I was probably under 11s, under 13s when you came to Downend, and it's kind of for a junior, it's good seeing a professional come. You think, oh, blimey, who's this? You want to go and get their autograph, sign their shirt, but then as it comes to, you know, realisation, and 4 years on, where you then came back for a second spell at the club, you realise you're just a normal person. You are going to stay after the game. You are going to put your money back in, you know, put money back into the club. And I think that's brilliant that you have that social side as well.
Yeah, I think that's where I started to, you know, I felt more so like a Downend player. That second spell that I had. You know, I felt like I knew a lot of people at the club. I felt like, you know, part of the side. You know, whenever I was available, you know, I felt part of the side a bit more than maybe that first sort of year or so back in 2012. So I think it was great to have 2 or 3 years probably. Well, pretty much until obviously I moved up to Warwickshire.
Yeah.
With the boys at Downend, because like they're a great bunch and some talented cricketers in there, and a side that was competing at the highest level possible for a side in the west of England. So it's a great club, and like you say, it's great getting to know the people who are ticking things over and making sure that things run smoothly up there.
From your time at Downend, was Matt Jackson your captain, I guess?
Yeah, I believe Jacko was the captains on my captain on both occasions that I was at the club. I think it was probably when I was playing in 2012. There's a few older figures in the side, the likes of Ponce, Binny, people like that, who were in the first team, and it was a slightly older group. But in my second spell, it was a lot younger side. A few of the Gloucester Academy guys were there, but also likes of Bobby Naeem, people like that who which was great for that side, because it was great that it had those old guys in my first few years there, but then that second time it had those that youth, that core of youth that was pushing the side forward along with the Jacksons, really.
I just got a quick can you name questions. The first one is, can you name the best player that you've played with at Downend?
I guess probably it's hard to. There's obviously overseas players that come in. I think that first year, 2012, was Mike Bracewell, who's a Wellington Firebird player in New Zealand, and he's played some New Zealand A stuff, so he was a great player. He probably wouldn't mind me in saying that he didn't get the runs or sort of the wickets that he probably should have got. And there was a few jokes around him being a bit of a waste of money getting him over and not pulling his weight. But I know he's a top player. So from that point of view, I think it would probably have to be him. But in terms of just the guys that turn out, week in, week out, I would say it's a hard split between the Jacksons.
Both Jacksons.
Well, they're both. Well, to be honest, they both offer a little bit with the ball, don't they? And some free flowing stuff with the bat. So it's hard to cut it. I've seen some unbelievable spells from both of them, and I've seen some unbelievable hitting from both as well. So I'm really going to sit on the fence with that one.
Yeah, we'll let them discuss who's the bigger hitter. I don't want to be in that conversation.
No.
But can you name your best figures, not at the club, but in your cricketing career?
I think probably in under 13, I think I got 6 for 9 once, but adult cricket would probably be probably my first class figures, which was 6 for 88, I think, against, I want to say maybe Worcester, not exactly sure.
And can you name your highest score in your cricketing career?
Yes, again, under 13s, maybe 15s. I think I got 138 not out. But I mean, I haven't got too many professional hundreds. I did have a few hundreds when I played at Lansdowne, probably between my spells at Downend, or actually probably when I was younger, maybe when I was 15-year-old. Got a couple of hundreds there, but that 138 is my biggest.
You sound like you were a very good cricketer. Well, you still are, but a very good cricketer at the age of 13 as well.
Yeah, well, I think at that age, I was probably more of a genuine all-rounder. But as I've gone on in my career, I've probably my bowling's taken over. I've focused probably more on my bowling, and as I've got higher, obviously, that's taken a lot of my time in the winter and things like that. So I still feel like I can contribute with the bat, but it's been the bowling that's taken the lead at the minute.
I would just like to also ask you, if you don't mind, about so far your time at Warwickshire. Has there been any reason behind you not being part of many of the games in the county championship?
There's various reasons. I feel I think something that I probably underestimated a little bit was moving to a new club. things take time to settle. Get to know the people around you, get to feel part of the club a little bit. That's not to say that I didn't feel welcome at all, but you just get to get yourself feeling as if you're at home again, and that allows you to play. So there's a little bit of that, probably a little bit of putting that little bit too much pressure on myself, in the sense that being signed, you think you got to impress from ball one. And then, I got myself back in the side, had a couple of good games against Yorkshire and Surrey at the Oval. Got my first five for Warwickshire against Surrey, and within that game I pulled up with a side strain. So that was middle of the season, sort of 6 weeks to get back from a side strain, and then again I felt like I was trying to play catch up a little bit, and again trying a bit too hard to force my way back in the side. So a little bit of a learning curve there, even though I played enough cricket to understand that's how it can work, but I think I probably underestimated that move and how it can take a little bit of time just to get used to it, really.
Do you reckon that in the future at Warwickshire, seeing if you don't move on from that club, that you'll be a key player in all three formats, or is that too much to ask?
No, I definitely feel like I can offer in all three formats. My career has probably been predominantly red ball, but with a handful of T20s in there, well, maybe 10, 15 games and 31 day games. I've shown that I can perform in those. It's just I feel like the white ball is something that, especially T20, it's a bit of a rhythm or momentum thing, in terms of how well your side's playing, but also a little bit of fortune as well. Obviously, you got to have your plans, you got to have your skills, and you got to nail them. But I think there's a couple of other factors that can come along the way. So I certainly feel that's where I want to step up my cricket and play in those formats a little bit more. But I want to play as much cricket and perform in as many different games for Warwickshire as possible.
I think you've given a great insight to your cricketing career and how a move from one club to another, one county to another is difficult, and how you underestimated it. And would you have any advice for any junior cricketers out there that are looking to become professionals?
Oh, I think there's probably a lot of things I could say. I would just really keep it as simple as possible. I think at times it can become a very complicated sport. Just stick with a couple of key things that that work, and trust that those will continue to work. There's no need to tinker around too much and change too much. It's really just, and it's a cliche as well. It's just enjoying it, and just keeping it as simple as possible, because there's so much going on in the game. It can become sort of tricky enough as it is. So that's probably what I would suggest.
Craig, thank you very much for giving up your time to me in these unprecedented times, and I wish you all the best and all the very well for whatever happens in the future.
Cheers, Ollie. Thanks, mate.